Hi guys, how are we doing? Today I'm going to show you how to clean the stovetop. Even though it might sound like teaching your grandmother how to suck eggs, I know there are people out there who really don't know how to do this. So today I'm going to teach you a very simple, very easy way to do this chemical free. Okay, so as you can see, our stovetop is pretty minging actually. What we're going to do first is we're going to take off these grids, these pot holders, and they're going into a sink with purely hot, no cold water, just hot water and dishwasher liquid, and we're going to leave those to soak while we do the stovetop. So they will go straight in there and we don't have to worry about them. Now this first bit is really tricky, so I need you to pay attention, okay? Because these bits all need to go in there as well, except we're going to put them in bit by bit. So the ones that need the longest, they're going to go in for longer, but we're going to put them together so we don't get them lost. So they're going straight in there. So even though they come apart, I don't want them to get mixed up in the actual sink, so I'm just going to leave them soaking together. Right, now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab some sodium bicarbonate, otherwise known as baking powder, or baking soda, not baking powder, baking soda. Alright, you don't want baking powder, it won't work. And we're going to actually do quite a little thick dump of this around the most minging bits of the stove, right? So that's what we're going to do. Right, so the bits that are the worst, just make sure that this is all covered. And some people only do a sprinkle, and if the stove wasn't that disgusting, so would I, but it is pretty gross. So we're going to put it on quite a bit. Now, we're just going to make sure that it's over every part of the dirt, because that's going to be important in a minute. Just make sure it's all there. You can buy baking soda or sodium bicarbonate in kilo bags for about £5. And it's really cheap to buy. Don't look for it in the supermarkets. Go online, have a look at the bulk places to buy stuff. Maybe even look if you've got a weigh and save anywhere near you, weigh and save type shop. They might have some. But yeah, don't be buying it at the supermarkets, too expensive. It's pointless. Right, as you can see, it's not dangerous in any way because I'm using my fingers for this job. So it's not like it's an acid or an alkali or anything like that. Right, next thing I have is my orange vinegar that I made. Orange peel vinegar. I made this about a year ago. The reason, and if you have a look up in the top, up in here, there's going to be a link to the video where I made it. There's also going to be one down in the description below, so have a look for that. The reason we use this one is because the orange zest actually breaks down grease and sticky things, so that's going to be perfect for this. But right now I need to get a spray bottle to put it in. Okay, so we've got our bottle set up. Just need to put some of this in it. This makes it easier to use. Now this vinegar, if you buy it online at the Asian grocery stores, you can get 20 litres for £20. And that's more than enough for a year. Right. Okay. now we're going to put this in here. Okay, just check the spray. Here we are. And we're going to spray all of this. I'm going to bring you down so you can see what it's doing. Right. See, as we spray, it starts fizzing. And that fizzing is what's cleaning your stove. That chemical reaction between the gut bicarb and the vinegar. Little ASMR moment for you. Fizz. And while it's doing this, while it's fizzing and doing its thing, you can leave it be. Go and have a brew for 20 minutes. Okay, so now we've had 20 minutes. I've got my blue roll, which you can use cloths if you want. I prefer to use this. And you literally, it just wipes off. Obviously the scratchy bits are going to take a bit more work, but the majority of all this is just going to come off. You're just going to prove me wrong. Yeah, those bits are a little bit harder on, but the rest of it. Now I'm going to get a bucket because I'm going to put these in the fire pit. These bits of blue roll all go in the fire pit once I'm done with them, so that they get gotten rid of. You could normally put paper products in the compost bin. I choose not to put these ones in particular when I've been using the vinegar, because I use vinegar as a weed suppressant in the paths. So that should give you a fairly good idea of why you shouldn't put these in the compost heap. Okay, so that's actually peeling off with just my nail. Not bad, hey? So, there we go. It does literally clear off without any scrubbing. You might be here for a few minutes picking up all this, but it's not a big deal. And this is why I don't use cloths for this job, because it's like, if I had to, I'd use a tea towel or something bigger. I wouldn't use like a little cloth, but I'd make sure that I had quite a few of them. one needs a little bit more work, but that's not going to take too much of an effort. Once we've got the majority off, you can see where you need to go back and redo a little bit more, obviously, which is fine. And because it's such a simple job to do, it's not something that we have to worry ourselves too much about. Now this one, what are you going to do? Yeah, this one just scrapes off easy. Again, with just my thumbnail, because we've managed to get it mostly soaked. But I wouldn't use anything metal on this to clean it, because it's enamel. You will scratch the enamel. And if you've got a induction hob, don't ever use anything metal on it, because you'll scratch the glass, you'll ruin it. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of all of that. Yeah, right up my nail. Ugh. Clean those later. All will be good. Get the yucky jobs out the way first. Hey, there you go. Yeah, so we're going to have to do a little bit more, but the majority of it is all off already. So you got to be happy with that. It's not a lot of muss, not a lot of fuss, no chemicals. Being able to have a brew, sit down, okay. Right, so if you do have issues with standing like I do, this is a perfect way of doing it, because you just do a little bit and then bugger off and do something else while you rest your back. Right, now we need to get this up here, because that's where the issue is. And there's got a bit of an issue around there as well. A couple of bit more. Right. Okay. Now what you can do while you're waiting for this lot now is go and do the bits that are in the stove. In the sink, the stovetop bits. So what we might do is actually do those before the water gets too cold. I should be able to just have my hand in it now. So we'll do that. Okay, so here we are, we've got these. This is still quite warm, this water, so that's fine. But we're going to get a little green scrubby and just get, doesn't take a lot of work, just to get the worst of the black bits off, the lumpy bits, because the lumpy bits are food residue for the most part. Some of that is part of the actual metal, but you can see yourself what is and what isn't, but most of that is just residue. Because again, if it comes off with your thumbnail, it's not meant to be there. Right, there we go. take a lot to come up a bit shiny. And we're not really doing anything except for soapy water and a little bit of scrub-a-dubbing. And our stove is quite old. Tanny's had it for quite some time, so it has got some aesthetic damage to it, but as long as you get it all cleaned as much as you can, it's not that much of an issue. So if you've got little kids around the place or you've got pets around the place, it's a much safer way of doing things. Right. Oof. I don't think that's going to come off too easily. Just give it another bit of a... It should be alright. But there we go. Okay. So if I have another go at that next week, whenever I'm going to do the stovetop again, you know, that'll start coming off a lot better. See, it's not coming off with my nail. It's going to take a few goes to get that black to come off. This one, what have we got in here? Anyway, we'll get on with this and I'll meet you back when we've got to finish off the stove top. Okay, so I finished off the top, so what I'm going to do now is just to give these a quick once over. They don't need a lot of work, but as long as they've got a quick once over, they should be fine. And anywhere that feels really rough, just give it an extra bit of an oomph. Here we go. 3 more to go. Okay, round 2 on here, and we should be done. We'll have enough done so we can call it quits for today. So this will have to... This hasn't been done properly for a while now, so it's going to have to take a couple of good goings on it, I think. To get it back to showroom shine, as they say. But it's mostly done, and that's the important bit at this point, to be fair. Now there are some people who wrap their stovetop up in foil so that all you have to do is take off the foil. Protects the top. But I'm trying not to have things like that that's going to cause me a lot of wastage. And foil's quite expensive really in the long run. So, you know, it's one of those things. It's up to you what you want to do with it at the end of the day. I'm not as worried about that back burner because we don't really use it. This one and this one we use all the time. So I'll be able to give that one another go probably tomorrow, maybe in a couple of days. We'll see how we go. But these ones are more important to get done, because otherwise they're just going to be burning that on until it's really hard to get off. And there's only really two reasons we have that back burner on, and that's either if we've got the deep frying pan on, or if I've got the stock pot going. So yeah, right. Anywho, like I said, it's going to take a couple of days of good going over, but the majority of that has been done very quickly with minimal amount of work. So I'm going to leave that go for now. Do the rest for the next couple of days, over the next couple of days. But you get the general gist of it, right? Okay. Right. So then what we got to do is we got to get these and pop them on where they need to be. Let's get this one back on. That one. And that one. Oof. Now the next thing we have to do is we have to turn on the gas to make sure it's working again, because sometimes it doesn't want to do the job once it's been had a bit of, you know, stuff going on. That might take a couple of goes, be really careful. Oops. Okay, but okay, so oh really? There we go. That one's going. They're all gonna go. It's just they need a bit of drying out on the inside. That one seems to have less to dry out, which is fine. Just leave it for about half an hour, it'll be fine. Just kick it off again and all be well. Okay, so there you go. That's how how I clean a really messy stovetop chemical free. Now I could have done that with a lot of, well, not much bleach and a big messy scrubbery thing, but at the end of the day I feel better about how I've used it. The cat's not in any danger. I'm not going to end up with blisters up my arms or in my hands. And yeah, although it may take a couple of days to get it back to what it was, it's only a 5-minute job here and there as you go, as you've seen. So I'm not that worried about it. We have been a bit slack with ours, but I'll be more on top of it now. So yeah, there you go. I hope that's helped. I hope it's been useful to you. If it has been, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. And I will see you guys later on. Have an awesome, awesome, awesome day. Love you guys heaps. Bye bye.